Hey you guys, it's Brit. Tonight we're here to talk about something that has been on my mind, as usual. I want to talk about the expectation from some parents. Already, I need to add a side note. Some parents, some, not all, there's this expectation from some of these parents that society should tolerate their children interrupting, being loud, being misbehaved in public spaces. And yeah, we're going to just talk for a few. So if you're interested, please keep watching. All right, you guys. So about a week ago, this TikTok from Alicia Ruiz 75 had a lot of people talking, and she went out to eat with her children and was asked to leave a restaurant because her children were being too loud. So let's watch her video. It's only 42 seconds long, and then I will give my thoughts.
I just got asked to leave the restaurant because my children were inconveniencing some old people. I went to go take my kids out to eat by myself and their kids. Sorry, I don't give my kids iPad. We're at the restaurant trying to enjoy. They were crying, doing all the things kids do. We were sitting next to a couple, an older couple. After about a couple of minutes, they came to our table and was like, "Can you take your kids outside?" I look up at them and I'm like, "What did you just say?" And she was like, "Can you take your kids outside? They're being really loud and it's disrupting our dinner." When I tell you, it took everything out of me not to fight this old lady. Simply said, "No, I can't because I have 3 kids and I'm by myself." So she has to get over it. Am I the only one that thinks this is so rude? You're entitled to a kid-free life. You are not entitled to a kid-free world. And I stand on that. Come at me if you disagree.
So I want to read a few of the comments, but my initial response to this video when I first saw it was I picked up on how she said, "Sorry, I don't raise iPad kids," as if that's some way to excuse her children being loud and misbehaving in a restaurant. I don't think that that's landing the way that you think it might be. I feel like this entire idea of, oh, they were doing kid things, they're just acting like kids, it's a way that some parents, again, focus on some, will excuse bad behavior. They will excuse yelling, screaming, having tantrums, just by saying, oh, well, that's what kids do. That's not what all kids do. And by you trying to utilize that as an excuse for your children being disruptive in a place that they should know is it is not meant for unruly behavior, it's unfair. Apologies if y'all can hear the rain. It is literally downpouring outside, but typical summer weather, it should only last a few minutes. Going back to my own childhood, I was taken to a lot of restaurants. We did a lot of outings where we would be going to breakfast, lunch, or dinner. And I knew that that was not a place for me to be loud. And I understand that with very young children, there needs to be more guidance and fair discipline so that they know what kind of environment they're in. But I don't like this whole idea of, oh, they're just doing kid things. And you expect everybody who's seated around you to simply tolerate it. Let's go over some of the comments. Somebody said kids need to be seen and not heard in public restaurants. I partially agree with that. I don't think anyone, at least not me, is expecting full-on silence from children. Like, that would be weird. But I do think that having awareness of volume and behavior, you sit in your seat, you don't scream, you don't yell, because we're in a restaurant and other people are trying to enjoy their time here too. Someone else said, coming from a mom of 3, if you can't manage your kids and their behavior in public, then work on it at home. Someone else said, I think you're entitled. Someone else said, oh, you're that mom. And someone else said, it's giving me and my disruptive, annoying kids are more important than you. Someone else said, as a mom of 4, please don't take your kids if you can't control them. If you can't manage your kids solo, why would you take them to a restaurant? Someone else said, I wish more restaurants acted like this. Someone else said, iPad free doesn't mean no decorum. Someone else said, I agree with the restaurant. Someone else said, I'm a father of 3 kids. If they start misbehaving, we leave. No questions asked, because I'm not going to ruin anyone else's experience because my kids chose to not behave. And I think that's a great comment. Very fair, not insulting, to the point. Let's get into, she had done a couple of response videos, doubling down, tripling down, typical. So let's watch this one.
I got asked to leave a restaurant because my kids were disrupting some old people, and I clearly left out some important details. First of all, my kids were not screaming their heads off, and they were.
And I also want to say, like, why categorize them as old people? Young people, young single people can also be annoyed by children making a ruckus in the restaurant that they're trying to eat at.
Not crying for longer than 5 minutes. My kids are also not grown. I have a 12-month-old who was making most of the disruption, and then a 3-year-old, my 6-year-old, who was fine. He was sitting there peacefully and quietly. She was crying for less than 5 minutes, and this couple came up to us and asked me to take her outside. They were an old, moody couple, and I wasn't at a 5-star restaurant. I was at IHOP. Everybody takes their kids to IHOP because it's not some big fancy restaurant. So before y'all come on here and start coming at me and saying I don't know how to parent, I also had things to entertain my kids. That's another thing everyone loves to say. I make sure that I pack my kids toys and books and all of these things. Okay, great, Karen. I did that too. That doesn't mean your kids aren't gonna cry for a few seconds when they aren't getting what they want. You correct it, they cry a little longer, and then you move on. These people didn't give me more than 5 minutes before they came at me. The response isn't to this person specifically. This was actually a pretty nice comment compared to the rest. Videos for the general public, that is in my comment section right now.
Now she's talking about IHOP being some kind of kid-friendly restaurant, which it is not a kid-friendly restaurant. And just because they might be a more affordable place to dine at does not, again, it does not mean just because you're going to a cheaper restaurant, it's some kind of ticket for your children to be loud and disruptive. It doesn't matter if they're selling dollar pancakes or, $50 steaks. People are allowed to enjoy their meal in peace, and I simply think that she is too young and too egotistical to understand what people are trying to say. And again, girl, you put the video out. You put it out, people disagreed, and now you're upset that people disagreed with you trying to excuse this situation that you were in. Someone left a comment on this video and said, not longer than 5 minutes, laughing emoji. IHOP is irrelevant. People pay at IHOP too, and it's not to have someone's kids throwing a tantrum. Someone else said 5 minutes of crying is way too long. There's a lot more comments disagreeing with her on this. And it's really funny because she's one of those who is over here sharing mom diaries, but sets up the tripod to greet her partner coming home from work and makes it this whole theatrical thing. Cringy, but nevertheless.
Children should be seen and not heard. Honestly, you people are disgusting me. Who makes this kind of comment? And why are there so many of you guys that think this? I don't get it. What bothers me the most is that most of you guys are moms yourselves. You're literally moms, and you're saying, keep your kids home. So, you guys just don't take your kids out in public. Kids are just so well behaved that you never had to deal with that. Honestly, most of you guys are giving I beat my kids at home to make them be quiet in public. So that way I'm not embarrassed. That's honestly what you guys are giving, and it's weird. Also, just stop judging other people on the internet when you don't know the full story. I gave you a little piece of the story. Did I mention I was at IHOP? And that my kids weren't even crying for that long? I'm honestly trying to put myself in your shoes. I really am. I just don't agree. I know there's some of you guys that do agree with me and do understand where I'm coming from, so thank you.
The other thing that I wanted to talk about in this video is there was another TikToker, and she came out with a video. What was her name? Larissa. She has deleted the video, but it already went viral. Lots of people have saved it. I have it saved. which I will include it. She went through the McDonald's drive-thru with her autistic child in the back seat. And she gets up to the window to retrieve her food and asks the person working the window, did you hear my, I think she has a son. Did you hear my child saying hello so many times to the person taking my order? And the person at the window was not the person that actually took her order, but she goes on this little, few second rant about how it's a really big deal if her son is talking to people or saying hello because he's autistic. And if they would just say hello back, it would make his day. Ma'am, stop expecting people that are working. They're not required to acknowledge your child. They might have a million things going on. They're working on working at a really busy restaurant, trying to fill orders, trying to listen to people in their ear, trying to listen to people that are in their face. Nobody is required to say hello back to your child. And that doesn't even matter if he's autistic or not autistic. They don't need to do that. I think there is just way too much of an expectation put on retail workers, restaurant workers, people just existing in everyday life to cater and acknowledge children when they don't need to. All of us have a lot going on, and we don't need to take time out of our day to, this is going to sound bad, but I don't need to take time out of my day to make your child feel special. Like, I might have a lot going on. It might be the worst day of my life. I might have a million things going on in my head, and you're trying to make me feel bad that I didn't say hello to your child or laugh at them or pay them any attention. Stop with the entitlement.
Hi, did you take my order?
No.
Okay.
Sorry.
It's okay.
You were the one, I think it was this thing. You were the one with the happy little code, whatever thing, right?
Yes. Do you know who took my order?
It was the other girl, but what was the matter?
Oh, I was just wondering if they heard my kid say hello like 7 times before.
I said that he said it like a cat going, meow.
I just wanted to tell whoever did it that this is his favorite part of the day, and he has autism. So if he's talking, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
And if you hear him say hi, just say hi back. It makes his whole day.
Yeah, of course.
Okay,
I'll
thank
tell
you.
that. We're all autistic here, so.
Yeah, thank you.
And that other girl, Alicia, or however you pronounce her name, she's also, done this video that I just happened to click on. Again, posting up her phone and doing this staged hug with her baby daddy while she shows her ass to the camera. So either way, these people are a hot mess, and I think it's absolutely ridiculous. So, I am here, I appreciate people, if you're growing your family and you have kids and they are your whole world, I think that's amazing. But stop expecting everybody else that you come in contact with throughout the day to cater to your children or be in awe of your children or want to interact with your children. Just stop. Knock off the entitlement, knock off the arrogance, and realize that there are places and certain situations where, noise is okay, it's a good time, but day to day, there's way too much of an expectation put on people that don't even know your kids to center them, and at times, like this girl, tolerate their tantrums and their crying when they are paying customers at the restaurant too. If that's what's going on with this, tell me how you feel down below. And we'll talk about it. So for now, if you like the video, please have a like and a comment. And if you'd like to see more from me in the future, please subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.